And Moses joins us for a first look at sports. Now, Moses, the Boundary Ford Classic finally wrapped up last night.
Yeah, it was exciting too. Of course, a rematch of a match earlier in the week too. Jesse Kaufman and Jolene Campbell, who's now skipping for Amber Holland. We'll tell you more about that in a second. But we'll go to the curling highlights. Fifth end, tied at 1 apiece. Campbell picks up a pair with the draw to the button. It's now 3-1 Team Holland. Next end, Kaufman would get one back with a draw of her own to trail by 1. Now, after a steal in 7 to tie it, Campbell lying 1 in the 8th, looking to regain that 2-point lead. Her shooter will slide to the back of the 8-foot. It's just a single point for Team Holland. So we'll go to the 9th end, and again, it's Team Holland with the stone biting on the edge of 12 and in the 4-foot. Kaufman, last rock, gets picked, and she takes out her own stone. Holland with a steal of 2 to make it 6-3. After running out of rocks in the 10th, Jolene Campbell and Team Holland are crowned the 2013 Boundary Ford Curling Classic champions. We'll head back to the Lloyd Golf and Curling Center with more from the winner and the finalists.
They're a team that's been together for over a year, gone through some struggles, and without their team skip, Jolene Campbell and the rest of Team Holland are now champions, capturing the 2013 Boundary Ford Curling Classic.
I've skipped a lot, so I'm comfortable with that too, and I've been in the spiel, so yeah, we feel really good about it, really excited. We played great.
The start of the final was more of a feeling out period. After blanking the first 2 ends, they traded singles in the 3rd and 4th before Campbell and the rest of the ladies got their first multi-point end. Partly due to fatigue, this being, of course, their 3rd draw on the day, it was a strategy that paid off.
You know, we thought we don't need to get mixed into it right away, and then got to it. Felt really comfortable with mixing it up and starting to play a little bit harder for our 2 points.
Kaufman nearly wrote a similar script in her win in 2011, getting bumped into the C event and reaching the final, only to trail by 1 heading into 9. But in what was described as a turning point, Team Kaufman's happy ending fell short this time around.
We were hoping to get a blank out of the 9th end just to go into the 10th with hammer, but things weren't setting up exactly how we wanted to, which is fine. But after I threw my last rock there, everything was good. You know, we were just cleaning, and fortunately it picked something up and went sideways, but that's curling.
Now, Campbell may have come out as a 2013 champion, but both rinks come out on top. Kaufman earned a berth to the Alberta Scotties, while Campbell earned a berth to the Sask Playdowns.
We had to make it to the final, and then no matter what happened anywhere else, we knew we were good, so pretty proud of that.
We've had a little bit of a bumpy year, but I think this is going to give us some confidence going in there, and we managed to get our spot in provincials. Now we needed a few points here and needed to finish ahead of a couple of the other Saskatchewan teams, and we managed to do that, so it feels pretty good.
However, Team Holland is in a predicament. Their skip is at the Olympic curling trials in Winnipeg as a 5th for Val Sweeting, and if they qualify for the Olympics, Amber Holland will not be eligible to play in the Scotties. That's if Campbell and the rest of the ladies can make it there. Still, Campbell says they'll deal with it when the time comes.
We're not sure exactly what we're going to do yet. We've kind of discussed the options, and we'll wait and see what happens with Val. Obviously, you know, rooting for them, and then we'll just kind of play it from there.
Brad Jacobs has been the story at the Roar of the Rings in Winnipeg. Unbeaten in the first 2 draws, the man from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, faced 4-time Brier champion Glenn Howard. Now looking at the men's standings, you can see Kevin Martin and Brad Jacobs at 3-0. John Morris not too far behind at 2-1, and a bit of a logjam there with a couple of 1-2 sides, including Glenn Howard says 1-1, but he is 1-2. Women's standings, as you'll see, Val Sweeting at 3-1. Jennifer Jones is also at 3-1 after the afternoon draws. Chelsea Carey is in a logjam with Sherry Madaw, Stephanie Lawton, Rachel Homan. All are 2-2s after winning this afternoon. Renee Sonnenberg is dropped down to 1-3, and it might be a little tough for the woman from Grand Prairie. I'm pleased to be joined by Scott Manners, our very first edition of In the House with, of course, my man Scott Manners. Now,
great to be back.
Awesome having you on, and I want to get to the topic at hand, the Roar of the Rings. We have seen some great draws the last few days, and we're going to start with the women. And boy, oh boy, what can you tell me about Val Sweeting? Why has she been so successful at 3-1, tied for first place so far?
Well, it had been the surprise team for the start of the Roar of the Rings for sure, Moses. They've come out firing on all 4 cylinders. Every player has done what they've needed to do, It's their sweeping that stands out for me. They're strong sweepers and they're playing like champs right now. It's great to see.
Also, they do have Amber Holland as their 5th. I know she's happy with her team being at the Boundary Ford Curling Classic, getting a win, and kind of joking around that, you know what, they won without her, so would they need her? All kidding aside, she's such a veteran presence.
Yes.
She's won a Canadian title. How important has she been to this team?
Val Sweeting could not have picked a better 5th. Amber Holland is an excellent player. She's done a lot of great work within the SCA at a coaching level and at a player level. She's helped yours truly here get to where he needed to get to, and she's doing it again with Team Sweeting.
Okay, another team that actually went through a very similar situation that Val Sweeting has, and that's Brad Jacobs, of course, going through that pre-trial qualifier to get to where they're at, and Jacobs 3-0. Great start.
Fantastic start for the Jacobs team. I would not have predicted them to come out like that. They're probably hitting the best right now. I see Jacobs doing that. I also see Martin doing that. But we're talking about Jacobs, and I see that team really gelling well. I didn't predict that. Maybe it's his new buzz cut that's allowing him to slide straighter and better. I don't know what it is, but he is playing remarkable in that skip position.
And lastly, we'll get to this. Glenn Howard, Kevin Martin, the emotions tonight. It's the key draw. What can you tell us? What can we expect?
Well, it's Glenn Howard that's really been on the level. Emotionally, he has been solid. I know his record has been, we're looking at a 500 record for Howard, but tonight I predict that they'll be on the level, they'll be ready to play. They're always keyed up to play Kevin, and vice versa. Kevin's team's hitting very well. It seems to me that when teams go really hard to the offense, that's when they're struggling to make the big 3s and 4s. We see them on the board, but they're rare in the men's side of things because teams are hitting very well.
All right. Well, you know what? You're on the button, my friend. Thanks a lot, Scott. I appreciate it. All right. Well, getting a chance to play with your brother on the same team would be a pretty cool experience. A dream come true for Nolan and Austin Yaremchuk. However, on this week's Beyond the Boards, Matt Schumont caught up with the duo who finds out who's better.
All right, boys. Now, last year when I talked to you about how cool is it playing on the same team as your brother, you guys, really appreciated that. Now, when I ask you, who is a better basketball player, who would be the better basketball player?
I am.
Why is that?
I played senior boys basketball, junior high. I live, I breathe, I die for basketball. It's my favorite sport.
Here's something that I'm about 100 times better than my brother at. We both did performing arts in high school and junior high. We both started at a young age. My mom didn't like hockey, so she wanted us to get into something else. I obviously, I excelled very well in that aspect. I was in a number of lead roles. Austin, on the other hand, was just he was part of the chorus, which you need chorus members, right? The show must go on with chorus members, and thank God for guys like Austin that just weren't talented enough for the lead roles that the show could go on. And that takes place a lot in our family.
Okay. Now, I feel, maybe if we have a tiebreaker here, say if I brought in about 5 or 6 girls, if you guys were going out trying to find, girlfriends or whatever, who would have a better chance of picking up the girl?
I would, we'd both have to agree that, I have a lot nicer van than he does. And, we actually...
Do you have an 8-seater?
An 8-seater, yeah. We both have 8-seaters. I drive a Sprinter. Do you guys know what a Sprinter is? It's a beautiful white big van. It's got doors in the back. It's got doors on the side. The seats they go up and down. It's a beautiful, beautiful vehicle. A Dodge carries them.
I have the 2005 gold Dodge Caravan.
Limited.
Oh yeah, it's limited. Oh, it's got actually, I would say it would be about...
I'd say 7 or 8.
It's about, an 8-inch DVD player. So a lot of times when he's talking about women, yeah, sure, he might pick the women up in the Sprinter, but I pick them up in the Dodge Caravan. I go to the park and we watch a movie. So who's better? I would say me.